Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi, everybody. So today I have the honor to invite um, Rohini, which I know her not long ago, in this year in 2025 in the Chinese New Year evening party, and this inspiring soul. She has so much to share. So let's welcome the one, the only Rohini.
Thank you.
So Rohini, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, so I'm Rohini. I'm Indian. I live in Belgium. I used to be a lawyer a few years back, and then life happened as we would talk about it. And now I am a wellness coach and a soul healer.
Beautiful, beautiful sharing. Rohini, so today our theme is from deep pain to purpose. So I know you have a very kind of a challenging time in your life. And how did you shift to the current version of yourself? Would you like to share what's the pain points you were encounter, and how did you feel, and how did you meet that turning point to shift?
Yeah. So actually my journey, I would say, started more in 2018 when my brother was diagnosed with a rare cancer, sarcoma of the bone. And before that we'd not really heard the word cancer in the family because we have no history of cancer in the family. So it just came as a big shock when we understood, and then as we went deeper, for him it was a very short journey. He passed away within a year of being diagnosed, and his passing away with cancer really left me quite lost, quite disconnected, looking for meaning, like why things like that happen. And it just hit us very hard, all of us as a family, and me and my parents very deeply. And I became quite a non-believer. I started, blaming more the outside, the circumstances, God, like he did this to us and it's so unfair. And so I left it there, and I started looking at more the outside to make myself feel comfortable. So I drowned myself with more work, with more social life and a busy life, so that I don't have really the time to think about what just happened with me. And then I got married in 2020, and I moved to Belgium. So I moved here for love. My husband was Belgian, and of course it was a hard decision to move from India to Belgium. I didn't want to, but it makes sense to have, from looking at it from the perspective of we wanting a big family and a thriving professional, personal life. I was also looking for a change professionally as a lawyer. So it all made sense, and I was like, why not? And so when I came here, I really came here with that fresh outlook, with a fresh start. And it was just before when COVID hit. So COVID hit 2020. I just moved here a few weeks before. And then I got pregnant the same year. And it was in March 2021 when life just changed overnight for us. So I was in a very healthy pregnancy, and we were happy that some joy is coming back to life, and we were looking forward to it. And suddenly I had just come back from a regular checkup from the hospital. Everything was perfect. I came home, I started developing a pain, and it became unbearable. So I rushed to the hospital, and they said that I've developed an infection and cholangitis, and they had to do a procedure. But the idea was to first stabilize me and baby. And my son, we got fine by the evening, and I was scheduled for the procedure next morning, and that's when they came to check again, within a matter of few hours, um, he lost his heartbeat and he passed away. And of course, before I could understand what just happened, I was like rushed into the procedure, and then they did ERCP to clear my bile duct, and then I had to be induced for a normal delivery. And when I had actually the most painful moment, which was giving birth to a child who didn't cry, you know, it's just a part of me kind of shattered that day in a way that it's difficult for me to describe. And one thing led to another, more investigations, and then I was diagnosed with rare and aggressive cholangiocarcinoma. It's a cancer of the bile duct. And that's when life really just hit me so hard, because, you know, it was, you know, you think like, okay, one thing has happened and that's it, right? And after my brother, we were looking at, okay, that's the past, let's accept it, let's move on now and look forward to life, what's there. And then you come here with a new, with a fresh start, with a new outlook, with many, many dreams, and then this happened. So it was just like, life hit me hard at first. It was not something that I could accept or I could understand what just happened. And it took me a while to be able to
kind of rock bottom, huh? Because
yeah.
you were pregnant, and then in the end the baby lost, and also you got the cancer. Oh my God, how strong.
And with having a history of cancer in the family, we were just like, I mean, I was with all kind of questions, and it was really like, okay, why me, and why us, and why my parents, and you know, like, how can this happen? You don't accept, you are kind of
all these questions
coming,
you feel that victim mindset.
Yes, it did start like that. And what happened was that I felt like I have to make it. And it was more from the survival point of view, that I had to survive for my parents. They had already lost a lot. Of course, my husband, and we were like looking at life very differently. So when I looked at them and their pain-filled eyes and their expectations of let's do this and you have to be there, it was really, actually it was the first anchor that I held on to, that okay, I have to make it. It was it was this strong will that I have to make it for them. And eventually it turned into something more deeper as I started understanding life more deeply and why things happen. And it was, I was also feeling that I was connecting to my child's energy, and somewhere I was also feeling, there was this feeling of support and guidance coming in from his side, like he came in my life to give me this opening, this exit. And when I started understanding why he came and also started connecting with him, is when I understood that I have to move on, accepting what happened. There, my brother's journey and my child is complete, but I still have a journey left here. And there was something within me said that you are meant to be here, you know, and look at life with what is, accepting what is, but also looking at it, okay, now what? Now what's the path forward for me? And that's when my search really started. So of course, after the diagnosis, I went through a treatment. I had a very invasive surgery called Whipple surgery, where they take out your pancreatic head, your duodenum, your bile duct and gallbladder. and I was born with a colorectal cyst. So considering that history, it was quite an invasive surgery that I had. And after that, it took me quite a while to, of course, I was in a lot of fear, a lot of pain. And then it was one after another treatment that, okay, it started with stage 2, it became stage 3 after the surgery because there was a lot of lymphatic involvement. And soon after, they saw further lesions within 4-5 months on my other parts, and then they said, it's not clear what stage it is. It's 3-4. And I had to do chemotherapy and immunotherapy. And so all that treatment was taking place, but it was in January of 2022. I clearly remember is when I was back and forth in the hospital. Hospital became like a normal part of my life.
Okay.
And it was at one moment when I just felt like I just need time to process everything that happened to me. And I need to look at other options. I was already doing, whatever one says you should do, exercise and yoga and diet and lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
But emotionally, and what I was feeling, I needed to process all of that, because there was the physical pain, which was long, but there was really this deep pain inside, this emotional pain that I needed to process. And that's where I knew that I had to, look at something else other than just what I was doing. And in January of 2022, I asked my doctor to take a break from chemotherapy.
Okay.
And I innocently asked him if I have like some time, and he said he agreed, and we took a break. And that's when I started, just went deep dive into all healing modalities, but also I started living, like really doing things that brought me joy. I went and for a holiday, and I don't know how I'll make it, so I went to my closest friend's house for a holiday in Switzerland. And I started like reflecting on life and life's deeper meaning. I started meditating. I took a deep dive into yoga in the traditional sense, not just, more in the sense of self-connection and self-realization. And that's where my journey started, when I just shut out all the outside noise and people and everything. I was just with myself.
So you really dig into the roots.
Yeah. Yeah, like as I said, it started with more like survival, like, I have to make it. But then it became more and more, there is something deeper. And I now need to look into that. And there was this guidance coming from within as and when I was connecting, So when I started like asking these questions to myself, this self-talk, meditating, going within, asking, the divine and the universe or God, whatever you call it, is that guidance came my way. People started showing, teachers came my way, your meditation teachers, my yoga teacher, and who just showed me another path. And I call them my door openers. Somebody came and opened the door a little bit to show in the light, and then somebody else came in and opened the door a little bit. And during that time, my yoga teacher and my meditation teacher, and also I was quite logical headed, so I couldn't really understand everything that people said about spirituality. And as I said, I had become quite a non-believer, so it was time to connect. I felt this deep urge that it was time to connect back, because that's where the answers lie. And but I needed some reason, some logic, me being me and having that lawyer mindset as well. I was asked to read this book called You're the Placebo. And I am my own medicine, and there lies a chemical factory within me to cure myself. And when I started reading that book, and it was written by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and then eventually I also went for his retreat to London. Yeah, and that was also really magical how it came my way, because suddenly my uncle connected me to his partner, and she was going there, and she decided to take me because she felt that it would be really good for my healing journey. And that's how I landed up there. But I found how our thoughts create our reality, and what I'm thinking, I'm feeling, and if I need to change my reality, I also need to change my personality. And that's where, I started journaling, I started writing down, I put it all down on piece of paper as to what are all these emotions of all that I remember, all that is that I'm conscious of and aware of in this life, and started processing everything from, and my yoga teacher was also helping me a lot to do that exercise about clearing, like really a deep cleansing and peeling off, as they say, the layers and layers and layers of it. And it's a continuous evolving journey.
Sure.
It goes on, but it was really like, oh my God, what all was I holding on to?
Right.
Like really waste thoughts, really like, do I really, and I was really defining myself with all these thoughts and emotions, but that's not who I am. So me at my core, I am this person who is love, who is already whole, who's already healed. And when I connected to that being, it was just about coming back to that true self, that me, and reconnecting and reminding myself of my true self. So it was for me really a journey of coming back home. And I would say all of these things really defined my journey forward, and things, more and more things started coming up and showing up on my way. And since I was in the hospital a lot is when this idea came. And I started talking, I started sharing with people as to what I'm doing, and people, when they had a conversation with me, they would feel good. Some people would call back saying, you mentioned about this and that, and what are you doing? So I started supporting people. And back then, I knew that the way I was supported and the way what I was experiencing, I needed a way to be able to share that with others.
Okay.
And how do I really share that with others? And that's when a friend of mine, like my closest friend, she said, when I was having a conversation with her on the phone, and she's like, Rohini, you are meant to be a coach. So maybe just look into that. And until then, it was not a word which I'd very commonly heard of. When you hear of coaches, you're looking at more in terms of the sports, and I wasn't really understanding how as a coach I can help. And I started looking, and I started what can I do? So eventually, when I started feeling good in my body, because I was also feeling good emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that was the most important.
What about physically? Because you were on the stage 4, 3, and 4 of your cancer.
So it was, so when I took a break, within 3 months my scans showed improvement, a regression.
Wow.
And I took another 3 months, and in 6 months it showed further regression. So I decided not to go back to chemotherapy, and we continued with the immuno with my team of doctors, and that's when I was doing all this work, because I had all the time in the world to be with myself and just to take a deep dive into all this other healing modalities. And that's why I call this a more integrative and holistic approach as well to cancer or to any situation in life. It has to be a holistic approach. You have to look at the person as a whole and not just the body. So it was not soon before, in Jan 2023, when I had no evidence of disease as such. And then since then, my scans have been in no evidence of disease until now. And now it's more than, I would say, 4.5 years, since 2021. And yes, there are, at the physical level, it's again an evolving journey. There are issues that come up. It's not that with all that surgery and the situation, it just did take a toll on my body. So it is like constantly finding ways to feel comfortable in my new body. But this new me and the new personality that I've become really helps there. And all these tools and all these healing modalities and really this connection with myself also helps a lot there. So it's really, there are days when I have to just sit with myself and connect and accept all that pain that's coming up and whatever I'm feeling with love, with compassion, and give myself the rest that I need. And then I'm back to, okay, what do I need to do next? And now as a coach, because it just, this path brings a lot of meaning to me. This is what I felt was meant to do. This is the path that I was meant to follow. And I understand it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
It's evolving. It's really it is, and I get more and more clarity as I keep moving. And the idea is to keep taking those continuous actions with that feeling of, with that, being okay with surrendering where I don't have a control really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rohini, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's really, I can feel that was not easy for you. And now you are a radical wellness coach and soul healer.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you are, when you feel the purpose to being a coach, to share the inspiring way to come back to your home, your true self? What's the meaning to come back to your true self, and how do you compare the feeling you were in that rock bottom time until now? How do you feel?
I always say that the acceptance is kind of a companion to grief. So it's not about, I love what happened to me. No, but I accept all of that happened, and that is the past, that is the history that has gone. The journey of my brother and my child is complete, but mine is starting. And now I have to also accept with when I miss them, when I feel that pain, and lovingly accept that as well. But also, what can I do now to support others who are on their journey of health and healing, and to really empower them to connect to themselves and live a life of meaning and fulfillment. Because that's when this whole journey made me understand why I'm here. Who am I and why I'm here? And this changed my life, and these questions also defined my life. So now I know who I am, and it's coming back to that feeling of me, my true self, me being a soul, and I am already whole and healed. And I have chosen to take this life for a path that I'm meant to follow, and that is my mission. And I felt like my personal mission is just to free myself from all this baggage that I have been carrying, and just be known in the spirit of love that I am, that I truly am. And every time I'm like confused, or something hurts me, or people say something, or a situation happens, I go back to that. Is it helping me in my personal mission?
Okay.
And what would love do? What would acceptance do? What would compassion do? So what would forgiveness do? So keep coming back to that, because for me, acceptance, compassion, letting go, really letting go of a lot of things, and surrendering, and forgiveness and forgetting, all of that, all these made
so important.
Big part of, they're very important part of my journey. That's how I walk forward, keeping all of them in mind. And it's about keep coming back every time you're situations, life happens, you remind yourself why you're here. And my bigger purpose of supporting others on their journey
Wow.
is what keeps me going, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really inspiring and powerful. I get inspired by your story. You were a lawyer in India,
Yes.
and it's kind of a different path. It's right now you are more for a spiritual journey, right?
Wellness, holistic, spiritual, whatever you
holistic,
call it. Yeah.
whatever you call it. I believe there are some people they are experiencing this medical treatment. For example, cancer. You know, how would you encourage or like inspire them to connect to their soul, their true self? Not only the treatment in the hospital, but how they can combine everything holistic approach to see the miracles.
Yeah.
It's a miracle. I think your story is just a miracle.
Thank you, Edwina. It is just, I was meant to be here. And what I always tell others is that it's an evolving journey. It starts with acceptance, yes. It starts with getting out of that why me and the loop of like why this happened, because we are so stuck in it. We are so resisting. We are living in denial, and that doesn't help. And the transformation comes with acceptance first. But as in the workshops that I give, because I'm also a radical remission workshop instructor,
Right.
and when people ask, this is what is happening to me, you're going through an illness or whatever situation in life, now how to move forward, what else can we do? So what else can you do is really defined into like what can you do emotionally, mentally, for your well-being, what can you do spiritually, and it all falls into a bucket of 10 healing factors. For me, like when I found this research, I really found that there is the backing of science behind this research, these 10 healing factors, and then there is also an ancient wisdom attached to it, all of it. So it is an evolving journey. It's not like I can tell anybody do this and that's it. No. So it starts by, if you can do it at your own level, just asking yourself those right questions and going deeper, and really doing those things which connect you to yourself, and whether that is meditation or whether that's yoga, asanas, or whether it's breathing, breath work, or whether that's silence, whether that's nature. Nature is really, really healing and a very important part of my journey. Or how starting with small steps of increasing that positivity in your day-to-day life with gratitude, just being thankful for what is there and not about thinking about what is not there, really appreciating the little things in life with forgiveness, and forgetting yourself for all the mistakes, and really looking at yourself from that angle of self-love and acceptance and compassion. So it is, yes, it is an evolving journey. It's not a quick fix. It's not, but it can come very quickly. That journey can become, that healing journey, you can take that first step very quickly by just moving into the direction of going forward than being stuck in your story now.
Yeah, in the circumstances.
Yeah.
Question outside, right?
Yeah.
Now you turn to inward, inner world.
Yeah.
And much, I think it much faster.
The guidance comes from there, and I feel the heart, the soul knows the answers. That's where the wisdom really comes in.
Right.
So when you're confused and when you don't know what to do, just sitting in that stillness, that silence going within, and it can be hard because your mind is creating all these stories. So
Right.
it is a continuous practice. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure it takes some time in the beginning how to calm your minds down and to really tune into your inner voice.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. So, Rohini, you are already a coach, radical wellness coach. And when is your upcoming workshop? And what's the purpose of this radical wellness approach?
Yeah, so one of the workshops already went by, but what I do is also one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
Where I take people through all of these 10 healing factors, but more defined into their own journey as to where they are and starting from there. Because for some people, it could be like making small changes in diet, in nutrition, in exercise, bringing in small steps and, movement and things like that. And then moving from there to what small steps can you do to empower yourself to feel these positive emotions. And very important part is also releasing the suppressed emotions that we all are carrying, because sometimes we are just like shut it off and leave it aside, but that's not the idea.
Right.
The idea is to like allow yourself to feel all of those negative, positive, bad, whatever emotions that you are feeling, and then move from there, then take a shift from there.
Yeah.
Sorry, we went
back.
yeah, we went off.
No problem. Let's continue.
Yeah, so I was talking about, it's really about starting from where the person is and moving on from there.
Yeah.
The workshops help for a group setting, and if you want to do this in a community setting. And then there are many programs that I do, 28 days program to discover your authentic self. Those are also can be one-on-one or a group coaching. Or if somebody is just struggling with some factors on some aspects of life more, I also take people through soul journeys and really helping them connect with themselves and having a coaching conversation from that perspective, because I feel the answers to it all lies within.
Yeah, but what about the people who are maybe in this medical treatment for cancer? Do you especially do some collaboration with them, or some special approach to these targets?
Yeah, so in the wellness coaching, when I do one-on-one coaching, we go through the research.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go through the radical remission research, what it says, what did people do which helped them heal, which are now part of medical journals and articles.
Right.
So we go, because people want reasons, and I was there. I wanted reasons, I wanted science to explain, and it was actually the science which brought me closer to spirituality.
Okay.
Yeah, so I understand all of that. We talk about thriver stories, people who, what all they did in last stages of cancer, or when they did not have any options left in the medicine. So what did other people do, and kind of we have created. It's amazing how these 10 healing factors are very powerful, because they're kind of a broader umbrella under which everything fits in. So everything we talked about, it fits into that umbrella. And then it's about taking people, whether one-on-one or group, through those. So you first tell them what it is, and then it's about coaching and them figuring out what could be, how could they imbibe all of that in their life and bring it into their life. So what could be, like, say, the goal or the action steps, as we call it, which they can start immediately. And that is not something which requires much more than that, just a small step at their level, based on what is possible for them, what comes out of their own belief system, and what is natural to them.
Limitation, belief systems. I would say recently I have huge realization that often we we kind of doing this journaling, affirmation, more positive things. But in order to see the positive side, however, we live in this world with law of duality, polarity, we have to see also the negative side in order to go to the positive side. But without each one, we cannot exist as a human or a soul.
Yeah.
So it also takes courage to see that shadow side, the
Yeah.
demon side. So how would you empower people who are only look at the positive side? However, instead of bring all the light in, how can we in the same time also see the shadow side?
Yeah. So that's what I was saying when I said it's very important to also release those suppressed emotions and
Right.
everything that
Letting
we go
go.
through. Letting, like, I love this term which in soul coaching which I learned was soul loves the truth. So you can be whatever you can be to the world. You can show that side of you to the world, but within within your dark side. Within you also know your the emotions that you are struggling with, and it's really time to be honest to yourself.
Be honest
Yeah.
about any emotions.
And yes, that requires courage. Even to self, it requires courage. Even when I had to, like, I made many mistakes, and some of them, it was uncomfortable for me. There was a lot of guilt, there was a lot of shame around them, to accept those things that, oh, I did it. And until now, I was kind of reframing it into something positive and be like, oh, I did it because of that reason. But now it was really time to have that honest conversation with myself and accept. When you do that, it's that experience and the feeling that you get, and forgiving yourself also.
Right.
And not being stuck in
Forgiveness.
like, okay, I did this and now I'm the worst person because I did that and blah blah blah. I mean, that's creating again another story, and then we are more entangled into it.
Yeah.
So yes, you see that side, you accept it fully, you look at it with compassion, you also forgive yourself. And what I find very, very powerful is I do often when I'm not able, the forgiveness doesn't come easy, I do Ho'oponopono prayer, and I love it.
Yeah, I love this practice as well.
And I love it, and I do it every day.
Oh.
Every day.
How did you do it? Can you share with us?
So, I mean, those aspects, when earlier I started with every night I would have a ritual of just a common statement about please forgive me to other souls who I may have hurt, but I also forgive myself, and it started with that. Then it came with like, how can I be thankful, having gratitude for 1, 2, 3 things, that I would do that. And then really about sending blessings to the world, because that also was kind of me accepting my true self. Like from there is only best wishes and pure feelings, and all this comparison and jealousy and all these things that I was facing myself with, all those emotions that I was struggling, that's not who I am, really. So it started from there, and then when I learned about the Ho'oponopono prayer, I just felt it's just a complete. It has gratitude, it has love, it has forgiveness element, it has all of it together. So just like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, it just, and I forgive you. Yeah, so I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful.
Right.
And I also do that to my body parts, like when something is troubling me or a pain, I do that for, I just keep my hand there and I do it continuously as well. So it's really become part of my practice, and that's what I meant when I said it's about keep coming back to it, until you become so conscious and aware of it that it doesn't go into your unconscious. You don't become unconscious about it. It just stays in your consciousness and awareness.
Thank you
it's
for
a
sharing
practice.
that. Yeah. Rohini, when you share with us about this, I got a question. There's a question pop up. I know when you are in this journey, you will find a lot of rooted, whether it's wounds or trauma, it's from the parents or generational trauma. How would you what's your practice would help people who are not stuck in that? Oh, because I have this experience, I have this trauma from my childhood, and then so I feel that now, and still even I'm in this healing journey, but I always feel these wounds. How would you connect it to the practice that really bring you letting go that wounded self?
Yeah. I can only talk from my experience because it wouldn't be fair. Trauma can be very serious for people, and they are living the story. So I don't fully understand, all of that, what they may be going through, and it can be hard. So that's why there are professionals and experts where you can seek out. But from my own experience of addressing my trauma, I felt like there was a lot on my ancestral side as well.
Right.
And the stories that we had heard about some really, really dark secrets and things that happened didn't make it easier either. And I kept thinking, because we did all of that, this is coming back, and it's a constant circle. And I found this again a very beautiful practice of Ho'oponopono and forgiveness. That okay, I don't know what to do, and I can go very deep into it and address and the root cause, and some people need that. But for me, what helped was really speaking, connecting with that ancestral energy, and that's very important part for my healing journey. And just asking them, I connected with also my brother, my grandparents, my whosoever I remembered and we also did that as a family practice together, all of us in the
Really?
family. Yeah,
Wow,
we all got
that's
together.
so powerful.
An uncle, my uncle, who's very close to me, he is also he felt the need that we all need to heal together into this, and so that even the coming generation, the kids who are here, these stories don't stay in that story.
Okay.
And it was time to just heal all of that and close that chapter.
Okay.
So we all got together and continue to seek forgiveness there, to continue to send love there.
Wow.
And also to forget and forgive, and then move on from there. Because yes, we can be quite entangled in that story for a very long time. For me, it really helped me. So now I don't keep going back to, oh, we did that, so this happened. But it's more about whatever happened was not fair, acknowledging it in all its honesty and truth. Yes, it was painful, but please forgive us for what happened. And please help us out here, support us out here. We need your blessings, and your love, and we send you love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's is so powerful, because you mentioned that you all do it together with
We
your
also did it together.
families,
We
with
also
your
did it together.
relatives.
Yes. And now I continue when the thought comes, or sometimes things are still stuck, right? Like you're feeling it's over, but things come up, and it comes in. That the emotions also come up in installments, and releasing also happens like that, right?
Wow.
Like you feel it's the end of the chapter and something would come up, right? So it's okay, and that's why all of this, just looking at from love, from the angle of forgiveness, from the angle of like blessings, they have tremendous power. And I feel wherever I don't have a control over the situations, because that happened, I can't go back to the person and say, and resolve it or whatever. So when you don't really have a control over the situation, and even the outside which you cannot control, like some people, certain circumstances,
Right.
it's time to surrender, and love and blessings are truly healing.
Surrender,
Just
love,
send your blessings.
blessings.
Just look at it from the eyes of love and compassion. Maybe they are coming from some space which I don't understand. And what happened in that moment, I don't understand.
Right.
And I can't go back to heal it all. But by healing myself, I can heal that intergenerational trauma, as we call it.
Wow, that's really beautiful. You mentioned that ancestral, you connected to the ancestral energy. How,
Yes.
Is that means you imagine or visualize someone, your ancestor or your someone who has passed away? How did you connect it to that energy?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say visualization, but it was going back. It was connecting to that energy
Okay.
of the person, whoever I remembered, because things, there
Okay,
may
it's the
be people
memory.
that I don't, but whatever the stories that we've heard in the family of what all has happened
Okay.
in the past,
Uh-huh.
and that's what it was, the emotions of that story. It was so painful to hear all of that, right? That also it creates an unconscious trauma within you, which you're just carrying without even knowing it. And when all of this happens in life, then all of it also comes back again, and you're like, oh, maybe it's connected, and you can keep living in it and staying in it. But my idea is like to close it, to close that wound, to close that trauma, to heal. And my way of healing was just connecting to that energy, seeking forgiveness, giving love, asking for love and support and blessings,
Blessings.
and
Wow.
moving on. And when it comes back, doing the same. Yes, there are ways also when it's really you're not able to do that. I have done constellation work, and I've done a lot of other things as well. And there are experts also who help you out with. We are fortunate that we have, people who can support us, and that's why wherever we feel stuck, and I'm a coach, and that's what I do. I support people, right? And similarly, there are experts in there, trauma experts and experts in their own field who help you what you're not able to do it yourself. And it's a good idea to seek support and help there from people.
You provide a safe space
Yeah,
to connect it with
exactly.
like-minded people, and also have this compassionate and I think feeling safe is the priority. People who want to really connect with you and feel safe to express what's stuck in their life, and what's the emotion they can feel safe to really fully tune into that real emotion, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I really feel healing is not an alone journey. We all are meant to heal together, thrive together, uplift each other through our own healing and self-transformation to world transformation, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So when needed, seeking that support is essential.
It's essential, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are never alone
Yeah.
in this journey.
Yeah.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you, Rohini.
Thank you so much,
for
Gina.
so inspiring story. So I'm still curious. So since you quit your medical treatment in a hospital, you are more in this holistic approach journey. So how is it right now with your cancer?
So I'm still in no evidence of disease. In the cancer world, you still wait for 5 years.
Okay.
But I just want to say that it's not about physical healing or cure for me anymore. It's not about dying. I've lived in that fear of dying and pain and all of that.
Yeah.
And now I have come way beyond that. I am here. It's not about really cure or dying. It's about living. It's about living in
The
now,
present.
in the present, living each day to its fullest, following this path that I am on, and really take each day at a time and move on from there.
Yeah.
And when I have to die, I die healed. Really, heal my soul. I die with that with that freedom.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I want to say that it's not something, it's a practice. It's not that I don't have my dark moments, you know. I am saying all of this because I truly have experienced and believe in this.
Right.
There are moments when I go back and I'm like, you know, when, especially when the body is struggling and your mind starts chattering, again, you keep coming back. I have the tools, I have the experience that I've felt it strongly of what that connection feels like. And I know now that there is a being, there's a higher being who's protecting me.
Right.
So like no matter what's going on in my body, I am safe, I am protected. And it's just about making that connection and accepting it.
I love that. There's a higher energy. So you believe, you have faith.
Whatever you call that as.
Yeah.
For me, that's God, that's divine, that's my Father, you know. I have a relationship, I have that special connection.
Right.
But people call it with different names, so I don't want to give it
Universe.
any name or whatever your belief systems are, none of that matters, because spirituality is really about forming that connection. And when you go within and form that connection with yourself, everything aligns automatically. It's not like you have to make sense of things, it's the experience that you feel.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. So beautiful. Okay, Rohini, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you, Edwina, for giving me this opportunity.
Space
And
with this nature and the decoration.
I love it. I love the nature.
Maybe we can share. Can we show this environment? Share this space, beautiful. This beautiful nature. Beautiful place.
Thank you.
All right, so let's begin. So, hi. I see there are people tuning in right now. So we will, Rohini, you will have a upcoming workshop, right? And is it a regular workshop, or it's you mentioned also there's a private coaching session?
Yeah.
How can people connect with you?
Most people, what I'm feeling now is that most people prefer one-on-one approach, because when you're going through that diagnosis, you know, time is a restriction, and you're also looking at what your unique, what does your body need at that point in time, and you want a personalized approach.
Right.
But if there are more number of people and people prefer a group approach, then we combine together that, okay, now I have enough people and I can do that next month. Okay. Otherwise, it's more one-on-one, and always available for that. People can just go on my website.
Okay, you have a website?
Yeah, which is called www.rssheals.com. So my name is Rohini Singh Sisodia, that's RSS, and heals.com. So, and of course I have like I'm on social media, on LinkedIn, on
we will place your
Instagram. So
link on the description later.
There are the ways to reach out, and I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there to support. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. All right, thank you, Rohini. Really, I'm so grateful for having you today.
Thank you.
In your beautiful place.
Thank you.
And
thank you so
good
much.
Energy.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All
It was beautiful.
guys, see you next time. We have someone coming up for next interview, so stay tuned. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye.